If you're a new producer and you're feeling overwhelmed, nervous, or like you don't belong, you're not alone. Most new producers in the insurance industry feel this way. And hey, look, even Michael Jordan got nervous before the big game. And what his trainer, Tim Grover, told him was, hey, those butterflies, just make sure they're all pointed in the right direction. But that's only so helpful because there's a lot of butterflies and it can feel like you're really, really lost. And so what I'm going to walk you through is my framework, the six things that help me build confidence. They work for me and they'll work for you. So the first thing, focus on the basics. There's a couple things here that I'm going to outline. One, focus on one niche. If you focus on one niche, it's going to help you learn the coverages. It's going to help you learn the markets. It's going to help you sound like an expert a lot faster than if you try to learn a lot of different niches. That's a lot of different underwriting guidelines. That's a lot of underwriters to know. That's a lot of companies to know. That's a lot of marketplaces to know. You can't learn it all at once. So focus on one niche. It limits what you need to learn in the short run. I've created a couple videos that talk through this, how to choose your insurance niche, and how to become the obvious choice. I recommend you check those out. I also recommend you focus on one sales process, and there's a couple of really good ones out there. I've learned a lot from Charles Specht. I've learned a lot from the guys at Max Revenue. I've learned a lot from Dynamics of Sales, and I'm currently in Nick Goby's group. And all of these sales processes can teach you how to take a prospect and walk them the whole way through the process to becoming a customer. If you don't have that process nailed down, you're going to feel totally lost about where your buyer is in the emotional journey. So, focus on learning one sales process so that you can practice your technique, because that's the third part of going back to basics is you need to practice. And you need to practice a lot. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant practiced more than everybody else, and that was part of their success. Being a producer is no different. You need to practice your techniques. You need to read books about sales. You need to memorize your scripts. You need to practice your scripts so that when you get into the meeting, it doesn't sound like you're saying it for the first time. But the only way you can practice your scripts is if you've got some type of process you're trying to execute on, which is why it's so important to choose a sales system and master it. Figure out how to make it work for you. The second part of the framework is remember what you've already done. I think David Carruthers does a really good job in articulating this in his Power Producers podcast, where he gives you the pep talk that he gives himself every time he walked into a meeting. He said, the prospect has already validated that you are important by taking the meeting. So go in there and kill it. So look, you got the job because you showed that you have something. You got the job. Your employer believes you can do it. If they didn't believe you that you could do it, you wouldn't have gotten the job. So you obviously have the ability to make people like you, to win the room, to make calls. You have some type of sales experience. So you didn't get into this situation by accident, and you didn't get this appointment probably not by accident. You probably had to earn that appointment. You had to make a lot of calls. You had to send a lot of emails. So you are there for a reason. For me, some of the largest opportunities I've worked in my career, I got through the process and I was feeling like a fraud. It's like, I'm not a national broker. I'm not a guy at a national broker. What am I doing here? What I had to remind myself was I took 15 years of practicing my craft to learn what I was doing. And the stories I love are of Jay-Z and Kanye West before they made it big. They were practicing their Grammy speeches long before they got their first album. They'd be walking to the subway practicing their Grammy speech. And Jay-Z would write lyrics on the side of paper bags and he would use a lamppost as his surface to write on. That's the work that goes into success. So when you're starting to have success or when you've got the appointment, you've already done the work. Trust your work. You are there for a reason. You are not a fraud. The third part of my framework that I recommend is write down a plan. One of the hardest things about getting started as a producer is it feels like there's so much to learn that you can get lost. You got to learn insurance product, which is pretty confusing. You have to learn sales product, and this is a very complicated sale with a long tail. And even though insurance buyers don't recognize it when they're first talking to you, they can feel it internally that if they make a mistake and choose the wrong broker or the wrong program, there are long tail effects, and that makes them very slow to make this decision. They have to build up a lot of trust with you. And so you have to be very good at executing a sales plan. You have to be very good at executing a marketing plan so that your ideal buyers know who you are and want to buy from you. And this is a lot of moving parts. My recommendation for you is write down a plan. Start with where you need to be 3 years from now and then back into it. 3 years, 1 year, 12 weeks, and then what you need to do every week, and build a structure out every week so that every day what you are doing is helping you build towards executing that 3-year plan. It's a concept I stole straight out of the book Traction, which is all about helping entrepreneurs build an operating system that helps them build their business. And what I realized is the same concepts apply to me in my life and what I'm trying to be as a producer. I have long term goals. I want to double my income. Well, how do I do that? I realized that, well, I'm going to have to write this many accounts with this revenue, and this class of business may or may not be able to support me. So I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z to build towards this endpoint. So what I do every day is helping me build towards the 3-year goals that I've already thought about. This may or may not work for all personality types, but I'm a big time pragmatic. And so having goals and weekly execution and strategies on how I'm going to get there really helps my brain get around it. But if your brain's rejecting it, that may be even more reason why you need it. Some personality types really dislike this kind of structure. But the thing is, if you don't have this type of weekly plan on how you're going to accomplish your goals, you're probably never going to get there. It's kind of like setting out to drive from New York City to Los Angeles and say, well, we don't need a roadmap. We'll just kind of wing it. You're going to have a lot of wrong turns that way if that's how you're going to drive. A plan helps you drive more efficiently. The fourth part of the framework is execute the plan with urgency. Never put off until tomorrow what can be done today. And I think this applies to a lot of different parts of being a producer. Paperwork is one of the things that tends to get put off as long as possible. And I know one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from Bruce Harriman, who is the most successful producer in my agency. And he had this rule that if he had an appointment, he got the paperwork done that day. And so that the next day he was moving on to the next thing. Now, for him, he was working a lot of smaller accounts, so he could do that. Some of the accounts that I've worked that have 40 locations, 100 locations, and 200 vehicles, you can't really do that. That's not practical. But what he is saying is you attack things with urgency. Don't let the paperwork stack up. Don't make excuses for not making the calls. Don't make excuses for not learning the product and not learning the marketplace. If there's something that you can do today, do it today. Don't put it off until tomorrow because every day stacks on top of each other. And what you want to do is get 1% better every day. Because at the end of 365 days, you're going to look back to day one and you're going to be astounded at how much better you are. The most successful people are learning machines. That's what Charlie Munger called Warren Buffett. He's a learning machine. And that was one of the keys to his success. And that's what you and I need to do. Is we need to be learning machines and we need to execute our plans with urgency. So the fifth part of the framework that I want to hammer again is everyone gets the feeling of being nervous, even the most successful people. I talked about Michael Jordan and how Tim Grover told him, hey, get all the butterflies pointed in the right direction. And see, the thing is, it doesn't matter how successful you get. Inside, you're still the person wondering if you belong, if you deserve it to be in that position, or if you're some type of fraud. It's so normal. And I'm telling you now that even though you're just getting started and you're feeling like there's no way that's the case, I am telling you, there's always a level that you want to go to that you haven't been to before, even when you've written $250,000 in revenue, 500,000, $1 million in revenue. There's always another step that you're looking at and saying, I'm not sure I know how to do that, which means the goal is not to not feel it. The goal is to recognize that it's there and use that nervous energy to propel you forward, because that nervous energy can be extremely useful. It can focus you, it can help motivate you, it can give you energy when you need it, but it can also push you in the wrong direction. So you have to use it as fuel to push you forward. You cannot allow it to be energy that pushes against you. And the sixth point, the sixth part of the framework is don't go it alone. I have a bad habit of trying to do this. I did it for years early in my career. I didn't have coaches, I didn't have mentors. I was trying to figure out how to be a commercial insurance producer pretty much all by myself for 3 to 4 years in the independent marketplace, and it didn't work. And I stunk. And I did not write much business. And I do not recommend that for you. You should surround yourself with people that are trying to help you accomplish your goals. You should, even if you don't have producers that will mentor you in your shop, I'm going to tell you, if you listen to the right podcasts, if you listen to the right people, you can get almost the same effect. They will elevate your thinking, and you need to surround your thinking with people that have been to places that you have not. Don't just allow yourself to flow with mediocrity. Don't allow yourself to get stuck. Don't allow people to tell you it's good enough. Find people that are a step above you and flood your brain with that thinking. Find people that have made higher sales goals than you, that have built businesses. Find underwriters, find wholesalers that can teach you about the business. Find as many people as you can that are going to have a vested interest in you. And those people you lean on to help propel you along the process. I'm going to tell you that if you surround yourself with good thinkers, with people that can help you, the whole process goes so much faster than if you try and go it alone. So that's my 6 point framework. Those are the things that I've done that have helped me move my career along faster. And when I embrace those 6 things, everything has accelerated for me. If that helps, if you've got questions, hey, send me a message, drop a comment, let me know what you're thinking, how I can help, and what type of content you would like to hear from me. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, and hey, please go build something great.